Hi everyone, my name is Tori Bissell and I'm the Director of Training at Plan to Protect. Before we really dive into our course, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for taking this course. It truly demonstrates your dedication and commitment to protecting the vulnerable sector. At Plan to Protect, we applaud your diligence. Now, Plan to Protect provides the highest standard of abuse prevention and protection to organizations serving the vulnerable sector. And we do this by training and equipping you with the tools, resources, policies, training, and support that you need to create a safe environment for your organization. Plan to Protect initially started 20 years ago in the church community in Canada, but has since expanded to include organizations, charities, and the faith community, schools, daycares, women's shelters, food banks, parishes, busing companies, refugee sponsorship programs, community programs, child and youth serving organizations, retirement homes, sporting leagues, municipalities, and more. Most of our clients are in Canada and the United States, but you can also find Plan to Protect in South American countries like Bolivia, European countries like Belgium and the UK, African countries like Ghana and Kenya, and Asian countries like Cambodia and more. We're excited to see organizations globally committed to protecting children, youth, and vulnerable adults. And we're excited that you are here. You are making a difference. You are making an impact. So thank you. As we begin our Train the Trainer recertification course, I thought it would be a good idea to cover some of the basics and give you an overview of this course. The first thing that you'll notice is that the course has been split into multiple modules. Each module includes some readings, a video presentation, and assignment. Throughout the course, we've also included downloads or links to documents or resources that you'll need. You'll also notice we've included multiple forum questions throughout the course. This way you can participate in discussions and even ask any questions that you may have. As we begin, I'd like to share with you a quick story which really highlights the purpose and the heart behind this course. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I love traveling. I've traveled throughout Canada, United States, Mexico, United Kingdom, Uganda, and more. A few years ago, I was preparing for my third visit to Bolivia. I couldn't wait to go. Unfortunately, a couple days before I left, I twisted my ankle really badly. What was I going to do? The tickets were already purchased, the bags were already packed, the itinerary was made, and there was a whole team also going. I still had to go. So I packed up and limped to the airport. For the most part, my trip to Bolivia was great, and my ankle hurt occasionally, but I was able to limp along and sit down a lot, so it wasn't that bad. But on the 4th or 5th day, my team decided to visit the ruins of Samipada. I had never been before, so I really didn't want to miss it. So I piled in the car with the team and drove for hours to get there. I had no idea what awaited me. What awaited me was a 4-hour hike up a hill to look at these ruins, crossing rocks and gravel paths and limping over tree roots. I seriously thought I was going to die. The pain radiated from my ankle up my leg and into my back. I was in so much pain. The worst part was that the only way out of the ruins was to go through them. You couldn't go back and you couldn't really stop. You had to go forward or you'd get left behind because really there was no one coming to get you. I'm so thankful for my team who let me take multiple breaks and lean on them as I limped throughout the ruins. After hours and hours of misery, I finally got to the end of the path and I collapsed on a bench. I couldn't believe I had made it. I couldn't believe I was alive. And honestly, I wouldn't have made it without the help of my team. You know, sometimes when I think about doing Plan to Protect training, I think that we're limping along, doing the best that we can, but we're exhausted. We're tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. We're tired and we don't see the end. And there always seems to be more people to train, or there's always more people to track down, or more paperwork to try to get. We're so exhausted we can't come up with new creative ideas. All we can do is keep on going. And we're probably doing the training in the same way that we're used to. And it's a pain for us and it's a pain for those around us, and we're tired. I'm hoping that this course will give you a moment to take a break and that we can come alongside of you and help. We can give you a hand and we can give you some support so that you can make it through, so that you can be remotivated and re-energized and encouraged. At one point on my trip, a team member encouraged me to sit down on a bench and take a break and just breathe. After a few minutes of taking a break and putting my leg up, I was able to look up and I was shocked. I was staring at one of the most beautiful sights I had ever seen. It was gorgeous, it was breathtaking, and I had completely missed it. As I was hiking and limping along, I had been in so much pain that all I had been doing was looking down, staring at my feet, making sure that I didn't trip on a tree root or a rock. I just kept staring down as I walked forward. I didn't even see the beauty around me. You see, another thing I learned on my trip to Bolivia was how important it is to sit down, take a breath, and take a look around you so that you can remember where you are and why you're doing this in the first place. Sometimes we are in the middle of training and policy writing and tracking people down for paperwork that we completely lose sight of the entire reason that we're doing training. And as the director of training at Plan to Protect, this breaks my heart. You see, training doesn't need to be redundant, repetitive, or boring. It doesn't need to be a pain or all about insurance or simply reading from a policy or manual. Training can be engaging, interesting, and passionate, and it should be. As trainers, we have this unique opportunity to share the heart and passion behind Plan to Protect and behind abuse prevention. We are uniquely placed within our organizations to help our volunteers and staff see the beauty, to see the point. So take a moment to sit down, take a break, and listen as we share with you some ideas for how you can make your training engaging and interesting and really share the heart behind why we're walking along this route. You'll hear us throughout this course say that Plan to Protect is not about policies and procedures. It's about so much more than this. I don't wake up in the morning excited about policies and about telling people what they can and cannot do. I wake up in the morning excited to protect vulnerable children, youth, and adults in my care. I'm excited to create safe places and to prevent abuse. We care about people that we're working with, and that is why we do Plan to Protect. When I think back to my trip to Bolivia, I didn't go on that hike because I wanted a walk. I didn't go on that hike because my ankle hurt and because I wanted to feel more pain. I went because I wanted to see the beauty. But I needed to step back, sit down, and take a breath so that I could really get the purpose behind my trip. Plan to Protect is not about policies, procedures, and insurance. It's not about pain. Plan to Protect isn't something that we have to do. Plan to Protect is something we have the privilege of doing. We have the privilege of creating a safe environment for children, youth, and vulnerable adults. We have the privilege of being the safest organizations within our community. And as a trainer, you have the opportunity of sharing that message with your volunteers and staff. Remember, your volunteers and staff don't care about policies, procedures, or insurance. They care about the children, youth, or vulnerable adults that they're working with. And if we can help them make the connection between that care for the vulnerable and the heart behind Plan to Protect, then they will want to follow the policies and procedures and they'll get it. I truly believe that when you share that message, when your training is creative, interesting, and engaging and passionate, then your people will catch the vision and they will want to follow Plan to Protect. My hope for you throughout this course is that you would be able to see our heart and our passion, that you would also catch that vision, and that we would be able to equip you with the resources, tools, and momentum that you need to make your training sessions creative, engaging, interesting, and most importantly, passionate. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to protecting the vulnerable sector. Dr. Seuss once said, "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better, it's not." Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot about your training being strong, nothing is going to get better, it's not. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot about your training being engaging, interesting, and creative, nothing is going to get better, it's not. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot about your training being passionate, nothing is going to get better, it's not. But if you care a whole awful lot, and I care a whole awful lot, together we can make things better. Together we can make a difference. Together we can make a change.